Intro's running now.
Hi guys, welcome to Dicing with Death. Sorry, Ryan, I thought I'd let you know that the intro is running.
Maybe you did. I was probably just talking over you.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
So
the Ericksons, then the Passes, now the Huffschmids.
What?
All the major families in my life are long talkers who like to talk over other people. Surrounded by.
It's a good name for a kobold tribe there.
Ooh, long talkers. Oh yeah. Hold on, let me actually go add that to the list of kobold names. That's fucking legit.
So welcome back. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We ain't even had a furfur in the meantime, right? We missed a week there too.
We did, unfortunately.
So what's new?
Besides the 2 new campaigns and the new streaming computer.
Besides all that, besides a whole new life, a whole new you.
It's cold in Boulder, man. We got like a foot of snow last week, and it hasn't gotten above freezing until yesterday, and it's not going to get above 47 until spring, and every night is well below freezing.
Winter's here. It's been colder here, but still no snow. Although it's the West Coast, so we may make it.
Yeah. I gotta add this freaking kobold name. I'm still looking for my notes. What about you, Ryan? Anything interesting up with you lately?
Same old. I don't know. Year is chugging along.
Yeah.
Can't believe it is halfway through November. It's practically the holiday season. Neal's already got snow. Where is the time gone?
I have no idea. Okay.
We got good old Zweihard here.
Mm-hmm.
Is
here to spread holiday Christmas
wreath of good berries, and he's gonna come into town on a sleigh pulled by goats and drop off some presents.
Wow, you know that Zweihard could be Father Christmas for Arcadia. It's possible.
Up here in the north, right? All right. Enough banter. We're talking about D&D now.
Yeah.
Jumping right into it.
Yeah, we're moving.
Yeah, so we're up here in the north of Arcadia.
Mm-hmm.
In the hills.
Mm-hmm.
Some hill dwarves. We don't have a I don't know that we really. We're back in Blacksteel Keep, right? And
yes. You have made it back into Blacksteel Keep after checking out the mithril mine, grabbing some mithril, fighting a grell or two, and running away with the notion that maybe grell can leave the mine. Maybe
running away.
Can't.
I think I left with all the mithril I could carry, right?
Yes.
Trying to contextualize.
Let
me see what I've got written. So we got some ore to process. Got some things to do. I hit level 5 as a cleric, so I have 3rd level spells now. I did not do my homework, but that's fine. Everything's fine. And I think if I recall, we ended on I don't know, interesting little scene that probably the viewers that are binge watching are have just seen, or maybe they're waiting for weeks. I don't know where you are in your life right now.
Well, for those that might have not seen the last episode, since we didn't get a recap, do you want to tell us what that interesting scene was?
Zweihard returned from the mines, right? And there was some compelling scene with the Great Hall, and everyone watched the crazed dwarf with mithril fever return from the Grell mine. Somehow I got the vein out without it. I think it's just wrapped up in the saddlebags and just a nondescript package. I'm trying to look up if I wrote down how much mithril I made out with, but I may not have. That may not be.
I don't know if we gave it a weight
revealed at that point. Yeah. I don't even think I have it noted. So that's, I think, where we'll pick up now, right? In the forge and see what we've got. I feel like I made some sort of check to inspect it as I was running out the door.
Did you maybe fail the check?
Maybe.
I don't know. There's so many rolls here.
Do you know what we're dealing with here?
The mithril in your hands?
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
So this will be like the next day. Sound good? Yeah. I will I have a couple of spells I want to cast, but I think let's deal with the forge stuff first. So Zweihard obviously knows about the mithril because she's here in the forge helping me with it. And then there was a meaningful look from Ziggy, the captain of the guard's son, who was with me on the when we first discovered the mine, or no, I first investigated the mine. But other than that, I think we're sitting on a priceless lump of wealth here that no one knows about yet.
Yeah.
So let's roll some things.
Sure. So you're gonna have to smelt this all down, which you can do and requires no roll. This is why Hilda will help you with these things, as is her job.
And of course, I will be blessing and purifying these ores, incanting the name of Saor. Our
great dwarven inspirational god. Crafting. All right. And so, do you need? I don't think you need to make a roll to bless your ore.
I don't think there is even. There's a mining. I've got a mining skill that's half complete, and then there's just smithing.
Okay.
I don't know that we've ever. I mean, maybe a blacksmithing roll would be appropriate to.
For smelting.
For smelting.
What would a failure indicate?
That it takes more time, or that it.
Sure, we can.
Inefficient. I don't know. I mean, I've got dwarf magic, so I don't think it matters. Maybe that's the benefit of the purify ore spell.
Is that you don't need to make any rolls?
I mean, under ordinary circumstances, you'd probably need to make a check.
Yeah.
But with the spell, we won't even worry about it.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah. Do we have spell editing privileges?
We do. Yes.
Yeah, if you want to clarify the end of that spell, just that this.
I will.
Like right now, I think its effects are super vague.
Purify, or I don't see it in our spell list.
Purify metals, maybe.
Purify metals. Cast upon ores or metals that are being smelted or forged. The spell removes impurities during the process, paving the way for high purity metals. And then
with the use of the spell, the caster can convert ore to metal without making a smithing check, or without making the ordinary smithing check.
Yeah. All right, let me just log in so I can edit it.
So soften earth and stone is what we use to get this out in the first place. I cast this on the earth around this mithril vein and pulled out like a vein of mithril that I feel like it was. I mean, I was able to drag it away, so it was probably in the range of 50 pounds. Was my
it's actually probably quite a
ore that needs to be. Yeah,
I think it was quite a bit less than 50 pounds.
Right. The narrative that I remember is having to that it's like several feet long, and I'm yanking it out of the soil and dragging it away. So I was imagining that it's not just like if it's a pound, that's like you can hold. I guess mithril is not very dense.
Yeah, it's got the density of aluminum.
So it's probably more of like a spear of mithril, a shard. Yeah. Mithril shard sounds like a good name for it. If I had, I think we just. Yeah.
All right. So
do you have noted how much it is worth? How much it is?
During the smelting process. So just making the spell change notes right there. Done. My Erickson with death notes are this book right here. Here's my notes. Okay. Right. So you have this like 5-pound chunk of mithril after it's all been smelted and all the rock has been knocked away and all the impurities pulled out and everything. You're left with like a 5-pound vat of mithril.
Technically speaking, because mithril does not alloy with anything, it shouldn't have any impurities. Right, we've said that it's this magical metal that you can't mix with other metal. Right, when you wouldn't let me dilute it with even gold and silver because it doesn't.
Right. So maybe not
alloy.
Like mixed with impurities, but like there might be a nugget of rock surrounded by.
So I think what it is, you said it was a vein. So I'm thinking it was like a shard, like a porous spear, like this mithril had, I don't know, formed throughout the rest of this earth, but it was probably long and thin, and it's dense, and it's light
pocketed
as
with
metal, right?
Yeah, it's probably pocketed.
So when you
with
melt it down, it
shrinks.
shrinks. But there wouldn't necessarily be impurities. It's like there's probably.
I guess I'm
like
using the words impurity a little bit
and,
loosely. Yeah, by talking about the
dirt.
sand and stuff that's mixed in with it. That's not melded with it, but inside the volume of it. So
yeah,
if that's not an impurity, I don't know what it's called. But.
And because it's, I don't know what it's like as a liquid, but it's probably pretty easy to separate out. I mean, I guess it's
very easy.
I guess it's infinitely easy with the use of this auto spell with a spell, but I would imagine it's just you heat it up, it melts, and the mithril just floats on the top.
That's how it would normally go.
And you just take off a little bit, which only turns out to be 5 pounds of mithril, though.
Which is an insane amount of mithril. You can do pretty much anything with that.
Not necessarily. I mean, you can't make armor with that, but
maybe not
that's a
armor.
couple. Yeah, it's going to be a nice weapon.
Yeah, I mean
a blessed blade. Let's see. What is? I wanted to look up look in your Regal Goblin's toolbox for a near crazy metal.
A converter? Yeah.
A crazy metal converter.
A little funky. That's basically the equivalent of 17.8 pounds of any other metal, or of copper. So you can make up to 17.8 pounds worth of typical weapons, but make them out of mithril instead. Which is what, like an arming sword is 3.5 pounds. So you can get like 5 swords out of this. You could get 17 daggers. There's a lot of stuff you can get out of here. You can get a bajillion arrows.
Or a whole contingent of hellish halberds. I think that's where we're going.
Okay.
So let me look at. All right. It's how many coins to the pound? Was it 20 or 50?
50. 50.
So this is 250 mithril pieces.
Yes.
Worth of molten mithril. So I think we spend. I guess you just with the casting of it's as simple as heating up the forge and melting it down.
Yeah. I'm
probably using my sustainable forging practices with this ever burning coke, ever burning coal.
You know, we've been talking about clean coal in the world for a long time, and I think Ryan has finally found it. Clean coal.
All it takes is a little bit of divine intervention.
Yeah.
Some dwarven hands and hymns. What is Zweihilda's reaction to a crazed Zweihard returning in the dark with this shard of mithril?
Well, first, let me ask you, what is your reaction? We've talked about you being crazed showing up with this, but what does a crazed Zweihard seem to be doing? Like, are you feverishly hoarding this metal?
Straight to the forge.
Yeah. Okay. Have you been really paying much attention to Zweihilda around you, or are you so locked in on this stuff that she's kind of?
I'm just thinking from a narrative perspective. Like, she's the only other character in the forge. I was asking for if you had any.
I just wanted to see if like you are being like really possessive and maybe not noticing her, or
no.
I'm trying to figure out what you're doing, so I know what she's up to.
I think I'm straight to business, right? We've got. What do you do when you've got a shard of mithril? You smelt it,
Yeah,
and then you forge it.
There's 500,000 copper right here in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's no chump change.
This is a gift from our creators, right? This is the most holy of metals.
Mm-hmm.
It is calling to be worked by our lovely dwarves.
Zweihard has the look of someone who realizes that they are involved in something well beyond their station, that they are a very small player in a very big play, and they're gonna shut the fuck up and just do their job as best as possible. She definitely looks not quite overwhelmed. What's like the religious version of overwhelmed?
Whelmed.
She looks very well.
I don't know. Enraptured.
Enraptured. That's the right word. She seems enraptured by the activities with almost a sort of religious fervor to her pacing and silence, where she's become almost like a robotic machine with the timing of her hammer blows, with the adding of the coke to the fire, with the moving of water back and forth. You know, she's just very quietly and very diligently going about her work. Yes, you could make spears too.
I was just about to agree with chat there. I'm checking your economics tables. If spears are still what they once were,
right?
2d4 damage. Yeah. All right, we are Well, halberds are pretty nice too.
Yeah, spears aren't that impressive, guys. It's 2d4. It's not that big of a deal.
It's better than a sword, but yeah. So we're gonna make a mold for a halberd head. I think the last time I just did it freeform and wound up with this hellish entwined mess of a mithril shard on the end of a stick. Mm-hmm. So with Zweihard's lucky rolls, we probably are going to do a better job this time.
Well, I don't know. We might have burned through her luck, buddy.
So while I have been purifying our mithril, can we have Zweihard roll the weaponsmithing check to prepare this mold for a bunch of halberds?
All right, here's her weaponsmithing check. 22.
That's passable, so we can start cranking these things out. So we've got a cast for probably just whatever sheets that you use to flatten down and hammer into a blade. Let's see. Weapons. Polearm, spear, 2d4, halberd, also glaive, partisan, probably Volge or every other polearm, right? D10 reach 2. It weighs 5 versus a spear, which weighs 3. How does this translate into material required for the blade? So I'm looking at my character sheet. What did you let me get away with last time? I used 21 mithril pieces to make my halberd.
Okay.
I don't know how we came up with that. That may have just been what I had.
What was the weight of your halberd?
I have it noted as 4.5 pounds, including a haft. 21 mithril is that's not even a pound, but it's less dense. So 20. All right, where's my metal converter?
Well, mithril weighs 0.2. The density is 0.28 of copper. So it should just be weight of item times 0.28 for the amount of mithril you need to make it. You said your halberd is 4.5 pounds?
Yeah, so that's 0.42 divided by 0.28. It's the equivalent of 1.5 pounds of copper. So I think we had said that was probably less than it should weigh. How would you do a spear? How do you calculate a spearhead?
I think most of the weight of a spear is in the shaft. I think a spearhead probably only weighs a pound.
And I feel like a halberd is similar, maybe slightly more in the blade. And
Yeah, halberd might be like a pound and change in the head. So you need like 0.28 mithril or 0.28 pounds of mithril, which would be 14 coins.
That sounds like, wait, how
Yeah,
much?
because 50 coins to a pound, so 50 times 0.28 would be 14 coins to make a spearhead or halberd head.
Yeah, so with 14 for a spear and a halberd is...
You said 21 is what we used for you?
21 is what I used, so maybe that's not out of the question. Maybe we can...
that seems right on.
Okay. Spears 14. The halberd's got the reach, though. Because you could do long spears. Maybe that's even easier.
Nice long spears.
But then I've got this halberd enchantment, so we'll see if we can transfer it to a couple others.
Okay.
And I also want to. Now that we've got this smithing going, let's take care of a couple of other spells. So we've got Grell, we got a mithril mine. We even got, was it orcs or hobgoblins in the vicinity of Blacksteel Keep? Yeah, this is way more important than anything Einhard is doing.
So but Einhard is going off on a quest to rid the area of all the hobgoblins and the orcs.
We got hobgoblins. We got goblins here, orcs here, whatever, and we got Grell. And we got mithril. So it's time to call back the armies. Call back the Thane.
How are you going to go about doing that?
Well, priests, clerics have this message ability, this message spell. I think the only way to practically cover such distance in the number of days that it lasts is to use a bird. I feel like voles or ground squirrels may be more appropriate for dwarves. Perhaps. Maybe even something subterranean to send out the messages. But I think if going rules as written to cover 20-ish miles, the only thing that can do that distance is, or in the number of days that it lasts, is a bird. So I don't know. I have 2 level 2 spell slots, so I can send 2 this day.
Messenger. Spell enables the priest to call upon any tiny creature of at least animal intelligence to act as his messenger. Yada yada yada. Creatures within range. The priest. The animal gets a saving throw. Communicate. And we'll wait at the location until the duration of the spell expires. Unless the intended recipient of the message is expecting a messenger in the form of a small animal or bird, the carrier may be ignored. Spell duration expires, returns to normal activities.
So I think I probably, unless this is a sign that dwarfs would recognize, I think I would need to affix a note to the bird. Send it to, Einhard's camp. I'll send out 2, in case he is or in case I miss right where he might be.
Right, because you're gonna have to tell the bird where to go.
Yeah, so one location. So I'll send one to where the camp was
over at Kelderam.
Yeah, like last week or whatever. I don't have any guess as to where. There's no other old forts in this area that might also. Who is in charge of Kelderam?
Thane Bull Stonebeard. No, that's the guy in Tharnham. In Kelderam, it is not in my notes.
And I think, so maybe so there will be a bird to the camp, I guess, and some burrowing mammal to just head north until it stops being under my whatever instruction. And I don't know if it's possible, so I think it just wanders. It's got probably a little note tied to it with dwarven runes on it.
Mm-hmm.
And some, like some vole or some burrowing mammal that dwarfs might encounter. This would be just some generic. And the note is probably dwarven runes, just like there. It's probably a very simple message, just like calling the Thane home, like Thane Blacksteel to return to his keep. And maybe it's slightly. I don't know. I'm his brother, so it's fine.
So maybe a little familiar for a message you would send to a Thane, is what you're saying?
No, I was going to say it'd be unusual, maybe even a breach of etiquette for for someone to send a message calling the Thane home. This may be more of something you would send to like the type of thing you would send to like call your banners.
Right.
But get the message out there and explain what, you can't have a vole explain why, that the Grell have returned.
Mm-hmm.
And we also got this mithril and this territory dispute that was over my pay grade.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe this is something I will repeat daily until he gets back. Just like send out these little burrowing mammals in the vicinity to like spread the message that and I think it's probably written in some dwarven runes that only the clan would understand, or maybe any hill dwarf would understand. Just like.
Okay.
Perhaps this is some ancient dwarven communication network, long forgotten, that some stroke of divine inspiration has instilled in me.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look.
I wonder if it could even be something like a stone, like a tiny little stone with dwarven runes on it, tied to the creature's ankle.
Well, I guess it depends what your.
I don't know how simple dwarven runes are. Like if there could just be a series of runes that are like.
Yeah, totally. The question is, can the bird carry the stone?
Calling the banners.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like teeny tiny, and you need a little like your dwarven spectacles to read it.
Okay.
Got to bust out their their gem cutting tools or whatever, and.
Sure, you find
But it's an odd enough thing that if you notice this little vole crawling into your burn, I don't know, in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, what's this note? And it just like word spreads over the week to call the banners to Blacksteel Keep.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Maybe there's some check involved.
Yeah, so I'm going to make some checks to see how if your letters arrive, where they go, all that sort of jazz. Mm-hmm. You attach this rock to a bird and a vole. Ooh, okay. Some interesting rolls there. It'll be some time before you hear back, regardless of the outcome. If Zweihard if Einhard doesn't get the message, you probably won't hear for ages. If he does get the message, it'll probably take, at least a few days for a message to return. Or if he's going to return, that might take a little bit while longer, because they'll have to, repack up their armies, change the directions, yada yada. It'll be complicated.
Yeah, the stone is set in motion. The boulder is rolling. So. With any luck, Einhard's army will come to save me when the Grells attack.
Yeah.
Just in the nick of time.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
But for now, we've got some forging to do. So I guess we can just take this day by day and roll our weaponsmithing checks.
Sure.
And let's just make a couple of these things and got a lot of mithril. I could make a dozen halberds. Is there anything else to do? Do we need a mithril axe or something?
Well, I don't know. Do you want to go ahead and forge all of this mithril right away?
I mean, you can always just melt it down, but
that's true.
I mean, I think that's a lot of it. I don't think we turn it into coin. We probably turn it into mithril bars, right?
Like 1 pound mithril bars?
Yeah, 1 pound mithril bars. What would that even? Or probably plates. Maybe that's probably what we cast. We'll probably cast it into plates, the weight of a halberd blade. So is that 1.5 pounds or something like that? Well, it's 21 coins each.
Yeah.
That's probably the easier way to think of it.
Yeah.
So we can make 11 of these with a few pounds left over.
Yeah, so
11 auspicious number to dwarves. Probably not.
Probably not.
It's probably. I don't think dwarves are superstitious like.
Oh, I think dwarves are super superstitious, but maybe
more
not
standard
in like,
number to make.
10.
Yeah,
maybe not like numerology, but I think that there are other things that will really freak dwarves out.
Magic.
Yeah, like if all of a sudden all the groundhogs are gone and all the squirrels are gone, dwarves would probably flip their shit. Yeah, that sort of stuff. There's like a weird flock of birds headed in the wrong direction, and the birds all like the dwarves get together and sort of discuss what it might mean. I think there are a lot of things that will freak dwarves out.
All right, 11, 21 MP mithril sheets. Which 11 times 21. Each of those is going to be. Oh. Wait, math. Do we have music going?
We do. You just haven't jumped into the Roll20.
I said I was gonna.
You did, and then you didn't.
I joined. I don't know where I am. I have a Discord open.
Not ours.
But I'm not in the right channel. There we go.
Nope. There you go. Ooh.
Oh, also I can hear the forging. Oh, that's way better.
I've also learned how to make the sounds come through better on Discord. By getting rid of noise suppression and echo cancellation.
4 points. I don't know how okay, whatever. 4.62 pounds. It works. Oh, it's because it's 21.
4.26 pounds is what?
Oh, I guess total I've got. Okay. No, that's how much. So I've just split my mithril into the 11 mithril sheets and the 19 coins.
Okay. So it's 11 sheets.
Mm-hmm.
At what weight? At 21 coins each, was it?
21 coins each, yeah, 11, 21 coins, yeah.
And then plus 9 spare coins, right?
19 spare
19
coins.
Okay. 11, whoops.
Why are you keeping track of my wealth for me? Don't trust me? Or is this the wealth of nations now?
I just want to make sure I have notes in case we forget by next week.
Who would ever forget their character sheet?
Definitely not us.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
okay,
you're here in Blacksteel Keep. You are forging these things, these coins, these sheets, probably not entirely aware of the passage of time around you. Maybe a few days pass without you really realizing it.
Let's roll some checks then.
Yeah, let's do it.
Our D20 plus 12 is my weaponsmithing.
Uh-huh. And are you making a halberd here?
I'm making a halberd, and I think Zweihilda will probably make one too, unless there are other tasks to set her to, which I don't think there's anything more important than forging halberds, right?
I don't think so.
So the rolls are...
I've got my sheet up. Let's hear them.
Okay, I make 2, which is...
Right.
Probably should have just rolled 2 d20s. Oh, okay, so that's a critical fail. So the first day I make a useless bit. Maybe with that one, I either need to spend the afternoon melting it down.
Yeah, I think that's a sign
or
of
maybe
your...
Zweihilda has to clean up my mistake, so neither of us get anything done.
I think it's a sign of your exhaustion. Maybe that you've been like running back and forth between these 2 points and pulling at this mithril and fighting this grell, and you got back and immediately went to forging and smelting all these things down and making these sheets and these coins.
Like the minimal, I probably sleep the minimum number, like 6 hours or whatever, so I can immediately memorize, go through these prayers and
you settle down to make the first halberd, and your hands are shaky, and you're like missing your blows, and you bend everything. At a certain point, Zweihilda comes up to you and puts a hand on your shoulder. It's like, Zweihard, I don't know how to say this, but you need to take a break.
Yeah.
The mithril will be here in the morning. Just Close your eyes for a day.
Is this wait, Zweihard was saying this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I rest the rest of the day, and let's look at 3rd level spells for a second. The spell list. I need Sayor though. Player equals
Weren't we going
Sayor.
to say that you had a +1 to your smithing attribute per level?
I saw that in chat. I don't think I was privy to this conversation, but maybe you talked about this
decide that
there at
earlier?
Prep Steam, or maybe I'm just forgetting.
I think that was a thing that we agreed on, and then we both forgot.
Okay.
Because that sounds super familiar. And you are
That sounds OP, or is that a Sayor?
I think
skill?
that's like a cleric of Sayor trait that we were.
It makes
going
sense because
with.
I've never once used turn undead.
Right.
And
I think this is
like
your
a crafting god. I mean, what about like advantage on? Is that too many d20s? Would just a straight plus make it even?
Well,
make it
advantage
simpler?
won't scale with level.
Okay, so
So
just
yeah, I think scaling with the level is a good thing.
that's a pretty impressive boon to be kicking in right now. Quite auspicious that as soon as I bless this mithril, my so maybe that's a thing. Right after this rest, I wake up and I'm just
Your head is clear, your mind is focused.
Mm-hmm.
You come back to the forge, settle down, pick up the hammer. Zweihilda's here, it's ready for you, and you go the next day to try again.
So I'm going to add that to my character sheet.
Yeah, it should be your cleric level.
Yeah, which is 5. It's probably +4. It would scale like Thaco for warriors. Is that what you're thinking?
I was just gonna say +1 per level, period.
Okay.
Just
Okay,
for-
so level 1 cleric I would have had. Well, yeah. If I make any disciples, level 1s would get +1.
Right.
Sayor's craft. +1 to smithing per cleric level. So that will bring my weaponsmithing to a whopping 17. We're still never going to break that 40, but we can get some 35s if we get lucky. A 26 is solid, and a 32. Ooh. I swear I had...
Those are the exact stats you rolled on your hatchet so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the blade comes out nice and solid. It's a hard blade with quite a lot of flexibility in it. It's looking good. Next is your balance roll.
Mm-hmm. So I swear...
Oof, +17. How good.
Is this all too beta to be in the toolbox somewhere?
The crafting rules?
Yeah.
Yeah. They should be in your Discord PMs. If not, I can send them to you again.
Yeah, I was just looking back through those. No need to send again.
Okay.
All right, so a 26 gets me nothing. No,
26 gets you nothing.
It needs to be a 30 before it's +1.
Yep.
To
Yep.
before it's larger. Great. So and then flexibility. So it does get +2 versus saves.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then is that same day you can do balance and sharpness, right?
Yeah.
Balance is a fail, and that means it's all for naught, right?
A natural 1 here ruins the blade. Yes. Yeah. So again, you're working on it. Your fervor is picking back up, and you go to balance it.
I'm probably
and
stronger than I even expected.
There's a blow that's like bends the blade
I'm
way
too
too
powerful
far.
for this, and the mithril's like too soft, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can remember getting frustrated the last time and winding up with I look over to the hellish thing in my leaning against the wall of the forge. It's probably hanging on a weapon rack in here or something. So that's another day gone. And I think at this point Zweihilda she's not forging the mithril.
No, I think she's been watching the whole time. And also her name is
probably doing
Dunhilda.
the routine task. I'm starting to teach her how to like change out, how to like push, how to maintain the forge or how to like keep the coals going. It's probably nothing that she trained for, right? To have these ever burning coals that need to be like stirred around optimally or like placed optimally, but it's not like you need to keep refilling it like you ordinarily would.
Her name is
Dunhilda.
Zweihard is your aunt.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking as a team that I'm Zweihard and she's Dunhilda.
So together you're Zweihard?
I don't know.
The slash fiction for you guys? Zweihard? Yeah.
No, I don't know. Dunhilda. That name is so much better, though. Not Doomhilda.
Dune, like a sand dune.
So I think in this way the days just pass by, and I'm content to keep making forge checks until I have a whole. Well, I don't know. I mean, we'll wait for a sign probably. Let's see what I keep saying. I'm going to look at my 3rd level spells. I'm trying to incept the idea in chat to tell me what 3rd level spells I should cast. I know if I ask them, I'll probably just get tree, right?
Greater tree is what you should be looking to pick up.
I'm not high enough level, I don't think. I think I can just do regular tree.
Okay.
Right, tree's a 3rd level spell. There's some removing curses.
A lot of good shit
Meld
for
into
you.
stone, that's some dwarvy shit. I had an interesting idea involving tree, actually. But I don't have a halberd to make yet. Ooh, stone shape. By means of the spell, the caster can form an existing piece of stone to any shape that suits his purpose. For example, he can make a stone weapon, special trapdoor, a crude idol. Sweet. We're making the halberd handles out of stone once we've got a mithril blade. And hopefully I can use my dwarf lore to craft some sort of like lightweight stone and use the magic to like keep, make it shape. I don't know. I'm imagining blades. I think actually I had the spell in mind when I made these. The crossover, the blades from my dicing with death stuff that the Sunblade and Moonblade had, the stone blades. I'm sure this spell is what I was thinking of when I had those.
What's the spell name again?
Stone shape. What is the material component? Soft clay worked roughly into the desired state. So I think we just.
Oh, right. I remember how stone shape works. Yeah. So you get some little clay, you mold it into the shape of the handle that you want, taking care with like a little wooden knife to get all the little details just right.
Yeah. Existing piece of stone into any shape that suits his purposes. Sweet deal. And then I think I'm just experimenting with that spell. Some stroke of inspiration hits, and I'm like, I got this mithril, but what do I make the blade out of? We've had all this experimenting with the bogwood. I've got a crazy idea. So the idea I was thinking with the tree is I could turn myself into a tree and use my own body to forge the weapons. Probably taking HP damage as poor Dunhilda has to remove my branches from my tree to make the blade. Would it turn back into a big floppy piece of flesh afterwards?
I don't know.
Are you following my crazy idea?
I'm following your crazy idea. I was just not
just
prepared
make
for it.
And you're the tree, right? So you can control your branches, maybe, right? So you just like make one of your branches into the perfect halberd handle, and Dunhilda just has to saw it off. Stone shape is a much more elegant solution, and much more dwarven.
It is. Caster will assume the form of a small living tree or shrub that have a dead tree trunk with only a few limbs.
The armor class and hit point are those of the caster. So if you just like saw off a branch, I'd take HP damage.
Yes, you would.
And just like Jesus, you eat my body and get a blessed weapon, right?
I suppose so.
But that is a kooky idea for another magic item. I think these halberds will just have
stone handles. That's fine. Well, they'll just be extra heavy, but that's okay. because the weight of the handle and the weight of the mithril will help balance each other out.
Spell, right?
Yeah.
It specifically calls out stone weapons in the spell, with no mention of penalties for them being stone. So I'm assuming it's some sort of magical stone carved blades, ordinarily. I mean, so I think that's what I'll experiment with. So probably by the end of this week or whatever, I get 1/3 level spell a day. So I think I get 9 cubic feet plus 1 cubic foot per level. One casting of the spell. So I spend one. It says casting time 1 round. That seems crazy. I feel like it should be a whole afternoon, but I think it's just magically. I think you cast the spell and you get, for me, 14 cubic feet of stone weapons. I don't know how we want to interpret that. You can make a stone weapon. It sounds like they mean one casting, one weapon. Or do you get all that cubic feet?
I think it has to be one continuous area. So you could for example, you can shape.
So it's got to be one shape.
Right. So you couldn't make 14 handles. You could make one handle or one super big handle, but not 14 cubic feet worth of handles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're making one thing up to this size.
Yeah, I think this first one I'll make like a stone axe, just because I don't have a halberd thing ready, and then do some halberd handles later.
Okay.
Just to play with the spell. And then, like I said, by the end of the week, the forge will probably have a couple of these things lying around. Just a thing that I'll make in my spare time. So I don't think I think it's just will have the stats of a standard weapon as the sound of it, but it's made from stone.
Yeah.
Might break more easily if it critically misses, but
definitely.
Maybe not. I don't. Yeah, seems reasonable. If it has moving parts, there's a 30% that they don't work. Good thing an axe doesn't have any moving parts. So, another day.
Another day, another set of rolls. Let's see them.
Let's do 2d20s.
2d20s.
Do them in pairs. So here's my hardness and whatever. That's not bad. So that's 32, which
and,
does
29.
32 hardness does give +1 crit die. Or is that +1 to hit? A +1 crit die. And a 26 gets +1 to save versus breaking.
28.
Or 28 gives +1 to save versus breaking.
Yep.
And
flexibility.
Not very flexibility of.
+1.
So 16 plus 17 is 30.
Oh, I didn't.
3, right? Not quite a 35, but that's
right.
+1 to hit and
clear by 8.
Crits on an 8.
And then what was the last roll? A 9.
This is sick. 9. I can resharpen it.
Yeah, you can resharpen it forever. Give me another sharpen roll.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh,
I don't
one
think
sharpness doesn't do anything but waste it, right?
It's just time that you're gonna waste here.
31. Okay.
Okay, that's nice.
So that gives us 15.
Yes. No, it gives you 10 sharp attacks.
10. All right. Mithril halberd. 1. Okay, so this is a quality 33. Oh no, that's 15 plus quality 32, 28, 33, and 31. Halberd.
Oh, your halberd, what's the normal damage on it?
D10.
Okay, so it does 1d12 on crits. And it needs to only clear by 8.
Yeah.
+1 to hit, +1 to save, +1 to damage for 10 attacks. Crits do d12, clear by 8. So you do produce this nice mithril halberd. Is this
nice.
Good as your first one?
I think there's an argument that this is blessed steel, but permanent enchantments are a bigger thing. I will cast the Hellish Halberd spell upon it, though. So giving it additional crit effects.
Right.
I need...
It is of exquisite value. Minimum cost 50,000 copper. How much mithril did you use in this? 21 pieces?
21 pieces, yeah.
Yeah, it brings us to 42,000 copper and the mithril alone, plus craftsmanship. We'll jack that price well above 50,000 copper. Nice. Yes, hellish bread. Hellish baguette.
And there's too many. I got too many epic weapons. I don't even know how to handle this. I get it.
According to my document, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got the Bogwood axe, 2 Dunhilda axes, a hatchet, a halberd. You also have your own halberd, but I don't see that on my notes anywhere. Unless that's the Bogwood axe? No.
No, I have. It's my own halberd is mithril. It is enchanted with that Hellish Halberd spell, but it wasn't. It was barely passable as a magic weapon, or sorry, as a master crafted weapon or whatever.
All right.
Right. It had no bonuses or penalties. It was like straight 21s, 22s. Is why I only have a 22 written down.
Okay.
So I think it's just gone dull and. Epic. And then, so this day, so I will use that stone shape to make a halberd handle.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And the reason, so I was lamenting about gold because it's explicitly the, I don't know, the currency of the game, right? To like do spell research, you need gold, which I don't have. So I guess we can just do it narratively. The thing I'm gonna wrap this handle in blessed alligator leather.
Ooh.
Zweihard's grips, and I was wondering if just like the sharpness increases the damage bonus for a set number of hits. Maybe this increases the chance to hit for some set number of hits, and then it will need to be like rewrapped, reapplied. So possibly this is a spell.
The blessed alligator leather gives it bonus to hit.
A temporary +1 to hit. Basically, like blesses the weapon for a certain number, or maybe it's a certain duration.
I think that would need to be a separate spell to get.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, so we're talking about spell. I don't have money to spend on spell research, but I think we're in this keep.
Mm-hmm. You may not have cash on hand, but you have.
But I've got a forge and
to
materials and alligator leather to bless and wrap as grips here.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that sound to you? So I don't think there's any. Is there any way built in now to get a bonus to hit?
No.
Is that the balance?
The balance, yeah. You have a +1 to hit already.
Okay. So would adding another +1 on top. The max from balance is a +1 to hit, and that's just permanent, right?
Right, that's permanent.
So this doesn't seem game breaking to get another +1 to hit on top of that for some set number of attacks, or maybe just for some. Maybe this would cache a bless spell in the weapon that could be used later, or something like that. Or some set number of bless charges.
Yeah, we could go ahead and try out some set number of bless charges.
Right, so I'm thinking here, yeah. Right, it doesn't need to be more powerful than a bless, but like something that imbues the weapon with these abilities rather than. And it's not where typically there's no actual explicit rules for how priests they don't have a permanency spell. They need an altar and shit to like enchant weapons, and they need to be a certain level. But I'm trying to make crafty workarounds here.
Right. Okay. That'll
so
work.
do we want to have a new
spell
here?
Yeah. How do you want to describe this?
Can
you wrap? So could you take an existing weapon and wrap it in blessed leather and temporarily give it a +1?
I think so. So do we want it to be what do you think sounds fair for a set number of hits? like a la stone skin or whatever, where you've got some number of charges of +1s, or I guess like you do the sharpness.
Yeah, well, let's do it like we do the sharpness. Just
Okay.
a number of attacks that you make, regardless of whether they hit or miss a set number of attacks.
Yeah. So this by wrapping the handle of an appropriate weapon with blessed leathers, this spell enchants the weapon with +1 to hit for how many charges? 1 per level, or should it be a roll for it kind of thing?
I do like rolling dice.
So we could do, so stone skin is D8 plus level or something like that.
Like D8 plus half level, maybe.
Trying to think of any other spells
Based off
that,
of stone skin, that's not a bad idea. Stone skin. The spell blocks D4 attacks plus 1 attack per 2 levels the caster has achieved. So let's just do that. D4 plus half caster level. Although you're what, level 5 as a cleric? So that would be on average like 4.5 attacks. It's maybe not enough.
Yeah. Stone skin was D8 plus caster level, was that you said?
D4 plus half caster level.
Yeah, it seems like that's not very useful.
Yeah, because then we'd need it to have like properly blessed animal leather.
Bless, so the other option I was thinking was going with, like, so bless as a level 1 spell lasts 6 rounds. Okay.
What if it just has a time duration rather than number of attacks? What if it's...
That's what I mean. So that's the other way I was thinking. Like, just make it basically make it a delayed access bless. Like you would need to when you first start. So maybe you get 6 rounds from the from. Does that mean you'd have to like keep it right?
I would, let's just say it's a like major blessing that fades over time. So whatever you wrap with it gets a +1 to hit and saves, just like the bless spell. But instead of lasting for like 1 round per level, it'll last for like 1 week per level. So you can wrap something that's blessed leather, and then for the next 5 weeks, next month, it's a +1 weapon.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that seems.
Is week enough time? Because I don't want it to be broken.
So I think in the monsters manual they have these magic drow weapons that I think last for a month in sunlight, is what I'm recalling offhand.
I don't remember.
Maybe a week per level, maybe just a straight month. Some odd number of days per level.
No, let's just do a week per level. That's just easy record keeping. It's easy to remember. Okay.
Your major bless thing made me think. So I was thinking this would be like a level 1 spell, and I was gonna call it like Zweihard grip or Zweihard's grip or something like that. But if it's lasting for months, that may mean it's a higher level spell.
Yeah, I was imagining at least a 3rd level spell, probably.
3rd level. All right.
Wow.
I guess that 3rd, does that seem fair? I mean, I guess I just got access to 3rd level spells, so that's...
This is a level 3 spell. It does require...
And I guess if it makes it, it's going to require components. This campaign hasn't really been specifying money. That hasn't really been a resource we've been concerned much with.
Right.
So, and in this case, I've got, the crocodile leather harvested under the light of a full moon. Not just a regular crocodile, a goat-eating crocodile. Leather of the goat eater. That's some auspicious shit. So I don't know if this were to be. So yeah, I don't. Just blessed leather is used as a spell component elsewhere, and
yes.
I think it's vague and interesting. I think that's an interesting magic item because any 1st level cleric can bless something.
What did you want to call this weapon? Call. This spell?
Zweihard's grips.
Zweihard's grips. All right, and is Zweihard ZWIE or ZWEI?
ZWEI.
Zweihard.
Plus 1 to save. Is that a +1 to save for the weapon? Or would this be something that like you would wrap around the handle of a shield and it would give you a +1, give the wielder a +1 to save? Or does it give the wielder of the weapon a +1 to save? That seems a little bit broken.
Well, I was imagining it as a increased bless spell, and bless gives the wielder a +1 on saves, right?
Okay. Yeah. So would you say this does not stack with bless, or this?
Yes, this would not stack with bless. Okay.
So it does. I mean, so the wielder of this weapon receives a +1 on their saves. Is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can just say, so by wrapping the weapon with blessed leather, this provides the benefit of the bless spell, or provides +1 to hit as per the bless spell. And just like aid, where it leave a generation of D&D players arguing over whether aid gives you a +1 to save as well.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, weaponized bless. Yeah.
The spell does not stack with bless or aid. That gets its own paragraph.
Yeah. So now I've got this hellish halberd that is blessed for a month, or for 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Conferring it, it'll have a plus, and because of its quality, it'll have a +2 to hit, +1 to damage, crazy crits. And some adventurer could go run off with it for a couple of 5 weeks before it would need to be returned to Blacksteel Forge for maintenance. That's cool. I think quest completed or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Design get to unique and interesting magical items using the craft system, or quasi magic items, without actually being a level whatever
level 16 wizard to cast permanency.
Well, priests are meant to. The priest crafting rules are super
wonky,
super vague. I think they do specify level 9 as the requirement typically, or maybe it's level 7, but I think it seems fair for a specialist cleric. I guess I'm a multi-class cleric, but a cleric of a crafting god to be able to craft magic items early here at level 5.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me. I like how Zweihard's been playing out.
Yeah, or I think artificers get something along those lines.
Why is the new spell not showing up? Did something go wrong? Van Helsing's Greater Tree is here, but not Zweihard. Oh, Zweihard's Grips. How did it end up? Oh, no, it's in the wrong. Oh, fuck.
Did you put it as like a wizard spell or the wrong sphere or something?
No, I just put it in the wrong spell list. It's in the new spell list instead of the old spell list.
Probably school enchantment and sphere. Do I have creation? I have creation.
I was going to say it's crafting sphere.
Is that even a sphere? That's like a specialty sphere.
No, it's a creation sphere. Right. Creation. You're right.
Yeah, is bless creation? I think bless is creation.
I think bless is all. I think it's its own special thing. Zweihard's Grips. Oops. Level 3. Book is, we're going to call it the Player's Handbook. Page 00. Verbal material somatic. Enchantment. Charm. Range is touch. Duration is 1 week per level. Casting time is special. AoE is 1 weapon. Save is none. We gotta spell weapon right. No damage. Material components are blessed leather. They are consumed. It is not a wild magic spell. Here is our description. It's not suppressed. There are no owners. Beautiful. Make sure it got in here this time. There we go. Now it's in here. Excellent. There's Zweihard's grips. Right. Okay, now you should be able to see it in your spell list. Player equals Saor. Here is the spell list if anyone needs it. Level 3. Oh shit, I didn't put it in the spell spheres too. That's the mistake. And we're doing creation, which is sphere 7. Spell 892.
You got 892 spells.
No, at this point we've got way more than that, but it's spell number 892. That doesn't count the new spells I've been making for Kuban Knights. Spell ID 892. Sphere ID 7. Better man would have a better way of doing this. Okay. Now we should see it in Saor's list. There's Zweihard grips. Zweihard's grips. Beautiful. Okay. You've got your halberd made. You've wrapped it in blessed alligator leather. You come out of the forge for the first time in a while, other than to just go to bed, and look up at the sky and realize you're not exactly sure how much time has passed. It's definitely been days.
Yeah, and so far no messages have been returned, at least to me, and no...
Yeah. No messages have been returned.
All right.
So you're in your keep anyway, hanging out with these people. Why don't we actually go to our first break here?
Yeah, sounds good.
And when we come back, we will see what happens.
Bye-bye.
See you on the other side of the back.